In this video, we learn how to calculate the average of a set of numbers. We'll also learn a few rules which will allow us to easily and quickly compute the average when given certain sets of numbers. Usually, to find the average of a set of numbers, we add all the numbers together and then divide by the number of numbers. For example, if our data is x1, x2, x3, etc., xn, then to find the average, we add all these numbers together. That is, we find x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus etc. plus xn and then divide by n, because there are n numbers here. And this quotient will be our average. For example, if the data is 25, 74, 57 and 80, we add all these numbers together first. That is, we find 25 plus 74 plus 57 plus 80 and then divide by 4, since there are 4 numbers here. So this will give us 236 by 4, which is 59. So that's how we usually find the average of a set of numbers. Now we learn a few rules which will allow us to calculate the average more quickly when we are given certain classes of numbers. But ordinarily, we find the average by adding all numbers together and by dividing it by the number of numbers. First, we learn how to find the average of the first n natural numbers. The natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. They're also called counting numbers. So the first one natural number is 1, the first two natural numbers are 1, 2, the first three natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, and so on. To find the average of the first n natural numbers, just add 1 to n and then divide by 2. For example, to find the average of the first 50 natural numbers, you just add 1 to 50, so you will get 51, and then divide by 2, so you will get 25.5. How will we find the average of the first 449 natural numbers? Just add 1 to 449, you will get 450, then divide by 2, you will get 225. Similarly, how will we find the average of the first 499 natural numbers? Just add 1 to 499, divide by 2. So, which will give us 500 by 2, that is 250. So, remember, to find the average of the first n natural numbers, all you need to do is add 1 to n and then divide by 2. The formula is n plus 1 by 2 to find the average of the first n natural numbers. Now we learn how to find the average of the first n even numbers. As we know, the even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. The first even number is 2, the first two even numbers are 2, 4, the first three even numbers are 2, 4, 6, and so on. So if we take the first n even numbers, we need to find the average of that, and that will always be n plus 1. To understand this, let's do a few problems. So how will we find the average of the first 224 even numbers? Just add 1 to 224. So 225 is the average of the first 224 even numbers. Similarly, can you guess what is the average of the first 50 even numbers? Just like before, just add 1 to 50. So 51 will be our average. Now, can you find the average of the first 345 even numbers? Just add 1 to 345, you get 346, and that is our average. In the very same manner, we can also find the average of the first 320 even numbers. Just add 1 to 320, so we'll get 321, so the average is 321. Always remember, the average of the first n even numbers is n plus 1. Now we learn how to find the average of the first n odd numbers. So the odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. The first odd number is 1, the first two odd numbers are 1, 3, the first three odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, and so on. To find the average of the first n odd numbers, just remember that the average of the first n odd numbers will be n itself. So it's very easy. To find the average of the first 23 odd numbers, the average will be 23 itself. Find the average of the first 34 odd numbers, the average will be 34 itself. To find the average of the first 57 odd numbers, the average will be 57 itself. And if you want to find the average of the first 89 odd numbers, the average is going to be 89 itself. So the rule is, the average of the first n odd numbers is nothing but n. That marks the conclusion of the first video on average. We'll discuss other problems connected with average in the second video.